Grand Theft Auto 3 is often regarded as one of the darkest GTA games from the franchise, and it is not a shocker. Grand Theft Auto 3 is set in Liberty City. Out of the three major cities that Rockstar likes to make GTA games in, Liberty City is the one about the darkness of humanity. That's why both GTA 3 and GTA 4 has a grimy feeling of hopelessness. It is intentionally designed this way. In this video, I will explain the disturbing theories iceberg of Grand Theft Auto 3 surrounding the lore of the game and how they shape the world. The vast majority of these theories are mine, with only a few taken from the internet. So let's take a look at this iceberg. Claude is the first protagonist of the 3D GTA games. Rockstar wanted the players to feel like they are in the shoes of Claude. That's why Claude does not talk, as the players of the game also can't directly communicate with the NPCs of the game. However, the NPCs in the game are working with Claude, but they don't care to ever ask for his name. When the game begins and he is betrayed, he meets 8-Ball during the bridge incident.
Sorry, babe. I'm an ambitious girl. You're just small time.
Come on! Señor Dickhead! It's no problem to kill you. You're gonna be sorry. Aye, get lost.
I know a place on the edge of the red light district where we can lay low, but my hands are all messed up, so you better drive, brother.
After that, 8-Ball tells him that he knew a place where they both can hide from the authorities. Once that is done, Claude goes to meet Luigi by the reference of 8-Ball. He never asks Claude about his name.
Eightball's got some business upstairs. Or maybe you could do me a favor. One of my girls needs a ride, so grab a car and pick up Misty from the clinic, then bring her back here. Remember, no one messes with my girls. So keep your hands on the wheel. If you don't mess this up, maybe there'll be more work for you. Now get out of here.
Later on, Claude meets Joey, and even Joey does not ask him for his name.
I'll be with you in a minute, Sparkplug. Hey, I'm Joey. Luigi said you were reliable, so come back later. There might be some work for you. All right?
After a couple of missions, Joey will introduce Claude to Tony Cipriani, and even then, Tony introduces himself to Claude, but Joey never mentions Claude's name to him. Tony also shows no curiosity to know Claude's name. It is very strange.
She purrs, you know what I mean? Oh, here's the guy I was telling you about. Alright, listen, this guy, he ain't Italian and he's no mechanic, but he could get things fixed. This is Pop's capo, Tony Cipriani.
Yeah, I'm Tony Cipriani.
Take him to Mama's restaurant at St. Mark's, alright? Now listen to me. I'm planning a job that needs a good driver, so drop by sometime later, okay?
Okay, kid, drive me to the laundry in Chinatown first. I got a bit of business to take care of. Those washerwomen ain't been paying their protection money. And watch the car, Joey just fixed this junk heap, so no fancy crap, okay?
keep in mind, these are Liberty City's some of the biggest criminals we're talking about. They're related to the mafia families of Liberty City like the Leones, and yet they don't bother to know Claude's name. Salvatore Leone is a wise criminal. That is why he was the Don of the Leones and is serving the family for a very long time. You can't stay alive in the criminal world as long as Salvatore without being wise and knowing what move your enemies are going to make. But it is rather strange how someone like him refers to Claude as a kid. Even he has no curiosity to know Claude's name.
You did good back there, kid. Real good. Come on, let's introduce you to the Don.
Hey, Luigi! Oh, my girls have been missing you so long, Salvatore. You've been away too long.
You tell them once this unfortunate business is taken care of, we'll all go down to the club and celebrate, okay? Here's my boy.
How you doing, Pop?
You got yourself a good woman yet? Hey, your mother, God bless her soul, would be turning over in her grave to see you without a wife.
I know, Pop. I'm working on it.
Tony! How's your mama? She's a great woman, you know. Strong. Firenze.
She's good. Fine.
Terrific, terrific. Now listen, you guys, you go inside while I talk to our new friend here. I see nothing but good things for you, my boy.
You would think that a wise criminal would like to know the name of the people he is working with, but surprisingly that's not the case. And I think it's a bit disturbing when you think about it, because it reveals how none of these people actually cared about Claude and only saw him as a tool. That's why Asuka is the only one who probably knew Claude's name, because close to the end of the game, in the mission Bait, Asuka interrogates Miguel and learns that Catalina has placed a couple of hitmen to take Claude out. She reveals this information to Claude when he meets her. It is most likely that Catalina told Miguel Claude's name, and that's why Miguel told Asuka about Claude and Asuka learned his name.
Miguel seems to think I'm mistreating him. Still, he's revealed the extent to which Catalina fears your quest for revenge. She has 3 death squads dotted around Liberty, whose sole job is to hunt you down. Act as the bait and get the death squads to follow you to Pike Creek, where some of my men will be waiting for them.
So what is so disturbing about this? It is that the only character that might have known about Claude's name actually cared about him, while the rest did not. And they also never knew Claude's name because he was just a weapon in their eyes. After meeting with Joey, Claude starts to work for him and Tony Cipriani. This leads him to working for Salvatore Leone. Claude had a great relationship with Salvatore Leone, however, Maria goes to ruin it all. She was the girlfriend of Salvatore Leone and lied to him about her and Claude having sex with each other. This made Salvatore think that Claude betrayed him, which is unfortunately why he attempted to kill Claude.
It's my favorite cleaner. I'm proud of you, my boy. You kicked the shit out of those grease balls. I just got one little job for you before we can all celebrate. There's a car around the block from Luigi's club. The inside is covered in brains. We had to help some guy make up his mind, and it proved a little, messy. Take it to the crusher before the cops find it.
Listen, Salvatore thinks that we're going behind his back, so he was offering you to the cartel in order to make a deal. I couldn't let him do that. I mean, the worst thing is, it's all my fault because I told him we were an item. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Look, you're a marked man on the mafia turf, and I've got to get out of here, too. I've seen too much killing, too much blood. Look, this is a friend of mine, okay? She's an old friend. It's Asuka. She's someone we can trust.
Come on, enough of the speeches. We better get out of here before we get more hysterical Italians wanting less friendly reunions.
So did Claude and Maria actually had an affair? No. You can tell that by looking at Claude's body language when Maria reveals to Claude about her lying. Then why did she lie? There could be 2 reasons behind this. The first reason is because Maria saw how strong Claude was. She always admired men who are strong. Salvatore was also very strong when it comes to controlling a gang and holding power over a city, but he was physically powerless because of old age. Maria was in a relationship with Salvatore, which means him being physically inferior inferior to Claude, finally started to catch up to Maria. Ultimately, Maria could not resist the urge and thus lied about Claude to Salvatore. And by Salvatore trying to kill Claude, which Maria knew was going to happen, and so she paged Claude about it. Maria attempted to get Claude for herself and getting out of Salvatore's life as well. And she knew how strong Claude was, so if anything happens, like Salvatore's thugs came after her, Claude would save her. That is, if you think Maria was smart. The second reason why Maria lied about Claude to Salvatore is probably because she started to fantasize about Claude and him being handsome. She started to daydream about Claude. This led to her accidentally revealing her fantasy, which is to be with Claude, and Salvatore got rubbed the wrong way. Now, you are probably thinking that she was stupid, so why the first possibility should be considered? That is, because by the end of the game, Maria meets Asuka and finds out she was torturing Miguel. She actually joined, and Asuka mentioned to Claude that Maria was a natural in interrogating people, which means Maria was inherently a cruel person all along. This actually makes the first reason pretty likely.
Do we tighten it some more now or just wait for it to turn black and fall off?
Give it a quick prod.
Oh, what is that gooey yellow stuff? Oh, hey, babe!
My handyman.
I was bored, so I came over to keep Asuka company.
She's got the makings of a natural, this girl. She's managed to extract this little gem from our guest. There's a plane coming into Francis International in 2 hours' time. It is full of Catalina's poison. You can avoid airport security by getting a boat out to the runway light buoys and shooting the plane down on its approach. Collect the cargo from the debris and stash it.
Oh, you be careful now, okay, baby?
Now try the chili oil.
It is possible she saw the potential of Claude. Not to mention, Claude protected Maria all the way during the party when she was having fun.
Me and the fellas need to talk business, so you're gonna look after my girl for the evening. Hey, Maria! Move your butt! Dumb broad does this every time. And here she is, the one and only Queen of Sheba. What were you doing up there? Whatever it was, I bet it cost me money.
Well, you don't think I hang around here for the conversation, do you?
Get in the car and keep your big mouth shut. Take the limo, but bring it back in one piece, you hear me? And watch her. She can be trouble.
Yeah. I'm sure your new lapdog has everything covered. And isn't he big and strong? Hey, Fido, let's go visit Chico and get some party treats. He's at the rail station at the Chinatown waterfront, I think.
Ah, mira, it's my favorite lady. We're looking for some fun, a little, some spank.
Hey, Chico. Nah, just the usual.
Here you go, lady. Hey, maybe you should check out the warehouse party at the east end of Atlantic Keys.
Thanks, Chico. See you around.
Gracias. And enjoy. That's good stuff.
Come on, Fido, let's go and check out this party.
Better recognize.
4-5 to all units. This is narcotics rate Atlantic Keys.
You know, I enjoyed myself for the first time in a long while, and you treated me really good with respect and everything. Well, I better go. I'll see you around, I hope.
So, she knew Claude was the silent type who is very dangerous. As mentioned before, GTA 3 was Rockstar's first attempt to make an open-world video game. The fact that this was going to be a 3D game made it very ambitious. That's why they added drivable vehicles as car and tanks only. The game did not have motorbikes until GTA Vice City. However, there were plans to make more drivable vehicles like the Dodo, which was going to be properly drivable. Unfortunately, it is coded very badly and is extremely difficult but still possible to fly. This might reflect Claude's own flying. flying. Think about it, Claude does not know how to fly planes. So for someone like him, he would have a hard time flying the plane, and in his mind he would think that the Dodo handles like a car since it is the only thing he knew how to drive. Not to mention, the player's actions are Claude's actions. So for the player, it is very difficult to fly the planes as well, even though this theory does make a lot of sense when you think about the players being Claude or Claude is the player. In the definitive edition, the game still has no control for flying the Dodo with mouse and keyboard, which probably means this is canon. Keep in mind, the reason this is happening is because Rockstar didn't program the Dodo properly before the game came out, but ironically it falls perfectly under the presumption that the game is trying to reflect Claude's actual aviation skills by making this plane hard to fly. In GTA San Andreas, the drug that destroyed everything was crack, and everyone knows about it because it plays an integral part in the story. However, a similar drug that was making names in Liberty City in 2001 is called Spank, but the name of this drug is rarely ever brought up, even though, like crack, it actually plays an integral part in the story of GTA 3. This theory suggests that the reason Liberty City is so corrupted and feels like a broken Rust Belt city in GTA 3 is because of Spank. Spank is everywhere. It is even hidden throughout the world, and the theory suggests that the hidden packages Claude collects are also Spank distributed throughout Liberty City. Spank was the Colombian cartel's product. They used this drug to not only make money off of people, they also used this drug as an asset in order to tackle other gangs and overthrow them.
Here comes our little friend, Mr. Big Mouth himself.
Were you followed? You know what goes on here is our little secret, amigo.
No, I wasn't followed. You got my stuff?
Here's your Spank, squealer. Now talk.
Okay, so the Leons are fighting wars on two fronts. They're in a turf war with the Triads, with no sign of either side giving up. Meanwhile, Joey Leone has stirred up some bad blood with the Forellis. Every day they're losing men and influence in the city. Salvatore's becoming dangerous and paranoid. He expects everybody and everything.
And with loyalty like yours, what has he possibly got to worry about?
Miguel was the leader of the Colombians, and Catalina ditched Claude to join Miguel. After that, in the mission Cutting the Grass, Salvatore Leone found out that a guy named Curly Bob was probably snitching to the Colombian cartel about their plans. Claude goes to follow Curly Bob and finds out that he was actually snitching to Miguel and Catalina in exchange of Spank, which means not only did the Colombians use Spank to make money and earn profits, they used it as an asset to extract information about their enemies. That's why Claude found Spank all over the city and places where it shouldn't exist. If you play the mission Espresso to Go, you will notice that the Colombians are using a coffee company as a front to sell Spank throughout Liberty City. However, when you go and destroy the stalls of Spank, you find them in some of the most obvious places where people would go. This means when you're playing the game, the people of Liberty City are consuming Spank. This is probably why some of these pedestrians walking on the sidewalk look weird as well. Phil is a character from GTA Vice City. Tommy first meets him when he buys the Malibu Club and starts to look for a shooter during a bank heist. He meets Phil and beats him in a target range competition. This makes Phil work for Tommy. After getting Phil and the rest, the squad pulls off the bank heist and gets away with a lot of money. This makes Phil like Tommy. When some time passes, Tommy gets a phone call from Phil where Phil asks Tommy to meet him at his place. This starts off 2 acid missions for the asset Phil's place. On the second mission, Phil is high off of Boomshine and tried to blow up a bomb. Unfortunately, he left the batteries close to the explosion, and because of that, he went to put the batteries in the remote and set the bombs off. This made his arm to blow up as well. That's how Phil lost his arm.
Hey Phil, how's it going?
Hey, Tommy! How you doing? It's been too long.
I swear you should lay off that Boomshine, man. It smells like paint stripper. Just make my eyes burn.
Shh, Tommy. Hey, come over here because there's something I want to show you. Something.
Oof, God, should I be able to smell that from way over here?
Don't you worry about the
Phil,
smell,
oof.
Tommy. You just watch this. Shitty, cheap batteries or something. There's some more on the bench.
Ta-da! Oh, damn!
Vice City took place during 1986, whereas GTA 3 happens in 2001. After all these years, Ray sends Claude to protect Phil. The Colombian cartel was coming after Phil because he possessed a lot of armory and the cartel wanted to get stronger. That's why Claude was the perfect man for the job.
Hey, kid, over here! An old army buddy of mine runs a business in Rockford. We saw action in Nicaragua back when the country knew what it was doing. Anyway, some cartel scum roughed him up yesterday. Said they'd be back for some of his stock today. He's gonna need backup, and in return, he'll give you knockdown rates on any hardware you buy. I'd go myself, but the old sciatica's playing up. So, good luck.
When Claude met Phil, he tells Claude that he thought there would be more people than one. Claude defends Phil, and when he reaches back to Phil, he says that if he had Claude back in Nicaragua, he still would have had his arm.
Great phone to head, but I thought there'd be more of you. Can't believe those yellow-belly bastards left me without proper cover again. Well, 3 arms are better than 1, so grab whatever you need. Those Colombians will be here in a minute. Well, hey, if I teamed up with you in Nicaragua, maybe I'd still have my arm. If you need any firepower, just drop by and take what you need from the lockers. Leave the cash under the bench. Now get out of here. I'll handle the cops.
This is not true at all, as you have seen he lost his arm in Vice City. This theory suggests that it was Boomshine that rewired his brain, because he has no reason to lie. It is important to note that Phil did lie about things before. For example, he used to lie being in the army. However, he never joined the army as he was rejected repeatedly due to him being drunk all the time. So it is possible that Boomshine played a part in that. If that is true, then Phil probably forgot everything that happened in GTA Vice City. But then again, he aged quite a lot as well. Vice City happened 15 years ago, so it is possible that being intoxicated for 15 years made him completely forget what happened during that time. Because of the fact that he lost his arm, it is also likely that he drank even more to the point where his brain is severely damaged. Claude met Catalina back in 1992 in San Andreas. When Catalina and CJ were slowly drifting apart, Catalina found Claude. Claude was always a mute. However, before the reveal of Claude and Catalina's relationship, CJ raised Woozy and Claude was there as well. That's because at this point, Claude was a racer. He wasn't quite the killer he was in Grand Theft Auto 3, which means Catalina met Claude, then moved to Liberty City with him for 9 years, and in those 9 years, the two of them robbed banks and pulled off other heists. These 9 years is what made Claude turn into the skilled killer. Catalina must have showed Claude how to use guns and kill people. Because think about it, Claude was just a racer. How does he know the way a rifle works? How does he know how to use a flamethrower or even the RPG? He can also drive boats, which makes sense as sometimes you need to drive boats for getaways. But not only that, Claude has exceptional skills like throwing grenades exactly where he wants to throw them, which means in these 9 years, Catalina and Claude practiced throwing grenades. With the help of Miguel, Claude probably had all of the opportunities that he needed to have in order to practice his weaponry skills. The reason it all worked out is because Claude stayed with Catalina as she was a benefit to him. However, in those 9 years, none of them developed any sort of affection for the other. This is the reason Catalina's betrayal was so easy. But a man like Claude, who works for money and is very self-centered, it must have made him feel like he was played. That's probably why the vendetta against Catalina mattered to him more than anything else. Claude killed everyone he ever needed, betrayed anyone on his path, and destroyed anything that would get him closer to Catalina. Catalina, on the other hand, started to panic about Claude's vendetta against her. She became paranoid. This was the first time ever Catalina actually felt paranoia. In GTA San Andreas, when CJ met Catalina for the first time, she was a lonely woman fighting men in a bar. She wasn't scared at all, but now she's scared. The difference between then and now is that she was a skilled fighter fighting regular men then, but now the situation is completely flipped. Claude outskilled Catalina, and she was about to learn that. Now, the truth is, this is just a theory. It is completely possible that Claude knew everything he did in Grand Theft Auto 3 prior to racing CJ in San Andreas, but we do not know that, which is exactly why this becomes a theory. But it is believable that Catalina's influence must have played a massive role in Claude's life, and if it is true, it is quite disturbing to think what Catalina was actually capable of. Throughout San Andreas and 3, Catalina constantly complained about men and the fact that she hated men. She also expressed the reason of her hatred towards men, which was her stepfather mistreating her.
Carl, I say I'm in love with you, and you act like I'm an idiot. I see the way you look at other women. I know you're kind, Carl. I am serious. I will kill you if you ever mess around. I will castrate you first, then I will make you mine.
Enough! I need some fucking money.
Carl, you are really boring me now.
Please, sweetheart. I got in some real deep shit.
Straight. Okay, maybe today we...
Somebody gonna be mad at you.
Carl, you have to be fast and totally ruthless. Not fucking about like in the betting shop.
What? If you hadn't started busting things, would have been sweet.
They had to die because you were slow and stupid. Like a big fat brat that eats chocolates while his father gives nothing to his stepdaughter but stale bread.
What? Where'd that come from?
Enough! I'm not speaking to you anymore.
However, she also expressed how she thinks that all men treat women like sexual objects and with cruelty, which further supports her view of hating men.
You're fucking psycho!
All you little men are scared of strong women. If we're passionate, you say we're crazy. If we're upset, you say we're hysterical. We sleep with men, we're sluts. If we don't put out, we're frigid bitches.
Who you calling little men? You went berserk back there.
That was just another day at the office. You can't stand the heat? Go put your tiny balls in the freezer.
Tiny balls? Now just wait a minute.
Enough! Just shut up and drive. I'm counting the fucking money.
But Catalina is not so different from what she deems to hate. For starters, Catalina is abusive to every man she meets, except if they can provide some sort of value to her. That will be the only time she won't go after those men. Secondly, Catalina complained how men treated women like sexual objects, and yet she treated all of her male partners like they are her sexual toys to play with. She slept with both CJ and Claude prior to betraying them. With CJ, it happened in 1992 when her and CJ was robbing a bunch of places for money. CJ promised Catalina that he would rob banks with her and let her kill any man she wanted, and the fact that he would play rough with her. But only the latter one was unmet, so she slept with CJ. 2 more robberies later though, she broke up with CJ and went with Claude.
What? What I do now?
Oh, so this is where you've been, eh? This is how you repay my tenderness? You prefer the curves of some car to those of a real woman?
Look, Catalina, you called it off, remember? Just business.
What kind of a man are you? When I say just business, I mean that I love you!
What the fuck?
When I say I no interested no more, I mean that I love you! And when I say that I miss
Catalina,
you...
wait! Leave my car alone! I did this for us! For me and you!
It's too late! I don't love you no more! I love another, okay?
What? Then what the fuck was this about?
I cannot keep my passions hold up. They need a release. That was a good release. Like hitting a man with a frying pan while he sleeps. This, Carl? This is my new man. Are you jealous? Are you going to fight for me? Huh?
Nah, I can take rejection.
You are jealous and a coward. Now let's race!
Crazy bitch.
You had the unfair advantage!
Being a better driver ain't no unfair advantage.
You think you're clever, but it is you who is missing the point. Not only was he racing, but he was satisfying me. Fully. What are you gonna say about that?
The advantage of a stick shift, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, man, what is it? Cash or pink slip?
Where'd you go? Goodbye, Mr. Johnson. I will not be missing you.
Hey, wait a minute, bitch! What is this shit?
The deed to a garage in San Fierro. My lover needs his car so we can go to Liberty City.
Liberty City? Yeah, whatever. Have a good time.
I will.
Fine.
Okay.
Go. I ain't gonna miss you.
Goodbye.
When Claude became her new lover, she did the exact same thing. The only reason it worked out for 9 years is because Claude was a mute and would do everything he was told by Catalina. That's why it fueled her ego and narcissism. And when she got bored with Claude and betrayed him, she went with Miguel, and the reason she did that was because Catalina realized Miguel had an army under him while Claude was a one-man. This shows how much of a cruel person Catalina really was. Everything that Catalina did, if it was done by a male character to female NPCs, he would become one of the most despised villain of the GTA franchise. The only reason Catalina is quite not hated to that degree is because her actions aren't conveyed clearly and because of double standards. In reality, Catalina is another despicable villain of the franchise that was a complete hypocrite and at the end of the day treated men the exact way she claimed to be problematic.
Sorry, babe. I'm an ambitious girl. You're just small time.
After Donald Love disappears, Claude starts to work for Asuka. Asuka caught Miguel and interrogated him. He would give away Catalina's plans to Asuka and she would later reveal them to Claude. Claude, on the other hand, would work with the information and do damage to Catalina's operations.
Miguel certainly has some of that famous Latin stamina. I'm quite exhausted. We underestimated Catalina's plans for Spank. It reaches far beyond the yardies selling it on the street corners. The cartel have a front company, the Kappa Coffee House. They've been selling Spank through the street stalls. We have no choice but to put these drug stands out of operation. Smash them to splinters.
However, during the last Asuka mission, Sam, Claude destroys a plane full of Spank and then kills the Colombian cartel surrounding it. But when he comes back to meet Asuka, he finds both Miguel and Asuka dead, Maria gone, and a note left attached to the rod that was used to kill Miguel. Now let's dissect this. When Claude went away to go after the plane, Catalina saw the chance to kill off Miguel so that he wouldn't snitch, and Asuka so that she won't stand in her way. Even though there are no evidence Catalina did it herself, I believe that she did, and here are the reasons why. Catalina was a narcissist. She could not let the Colombians do it by themselves. She had to do it by herself so that she gets the satisfaction. That is why she told Claude to bring her $500,000 so that she would rob Claude and then get to see him die as well. That is also why Claude agreed to meet her face to face, because Claude knew Catalina's narcissism wouldn't let her kill him, which is what she should have done. Instead, Catalina wants to enjoy seeing him die. That would make her sadistic mind satisfied. That's why I have reasons to believe Catalina came here physically with Colombians to protect her in case anything went wrong, and then whacked Asuka and Miguel. If you pay attention, you will find that Miguel died with a rod being penetrated through the back of his head. Why? According to the theory, Catalina knew that Miguel was giving away the Colombians' plans to the Yakuza, which in this case was Asuka. That's why, in Catalina's mind, she started to think of Miguel as a snitch. That's why, in her sadistic mind, she thought of killing Miguel by striking a rod through the back of his neck. Even though this is just a theory, I believe this is what actually happened. Not to mention, Catalina could never let the chance of seeing Miguel die like that to slip away. She was proven over and over again that her ego takes place over everything else, which makes this theory extremely believable. There is a big misconception about Claude in GTA 3, and it is that he betrayed Kenji because Kenji did not treat him right and yelled at him while insulting his abilities. It is true that Claude worked for Kenji and he went berserk at Claude, but that is not the reason Claude betrayed Kenji.
How fitting you should choose this moment to show your worthless face. It would appear your attempts to dissuade the Jamaicans from becoming bedfellows with the cartel were wholly inadequate. Yardy pushers line Liberty streets selling packets of spank like they were selling hot dogs. Those cartel pigs are laughing at us. At me! I will give you one last chance to prove my sister's faith in you to be well-founded. Run these scumbags into the ground and wash your shame in rivers of our enemy's blood!
Claude found out Donald loved and worked for him, while working for Kenji was actually completely optional. The reason this misconception happens is because in GTA 3 and Vice City, some missions aren't labeled as optional. So what happens is that you end up playing missions that you think are main missions since they have no different symbols to tell the players they are optional, but they are. That's why a lot of players do not recognize that Kenji's missions are also optional. Why does this matter? That's because if it was true that Claude killed Kenji because he was being abrupt to Claude, then that wouldn't make sense for a playthrough where Claude does not work for Kenji, as by not working for him, Claude would have no reason to betray Kenji. However, Claude will always take Donald Love's mission of the Wakagashira wipeout, so no, Claude did not betray Kenji because he could be disruptive towards him.
Nothing drives down real estate prices like a good old-fashioned gang war. Apart from an outbreak of plague, but that might be going too far in this case. I've noticed the Yakuza and the Colombians are far from friends. Let's capitalize on this business opportunity. I want you to kill the Yakuza Wakagashira, Kenji Kassen. Kenji is attending a meeting at the top of the multi-story car park in Newport. Get a cartel gang car and eliminate him. The Yakuza must blame the cartel for this declaration of war.
Then why did Claude actually betray Kenji? To understand that, you need to know what Claude truly values. The only thing Claude was after the entire game was his vendetta against Catalina. This is why he did everything to get to her. But other than that, Claude works for money and whoever has power. Claude will betray whoever he needs to in order to work for them. This is why Claude betrays anyone he needs to in order to keep working for a higher power. This is also why Donald Love told Claude that he knew Claude was going to be loyal for the right price, which means Claude was going to work for Donald as long as he kept paying Claude very high amount.
First of all, let me thank you for dealing with that personal matter. People will read something into anything these days. Experience has taught me that a man like you can be very loyal for the right price, but groups of men get greedy. A valued resource, an old Oriental gentleman I know, has been kept hostage by some South Americans in Espatria. They're trying to extort additional funds from me, but I don't believe in renegotiation. A deal is a deal, so they'll not see a penny from me. Go and rescue my friend. Do whatever it takes.
Donald Love, on the other hand, was the most influential person Claude ever worked for. That's why he betrayed Kenji and got rid of him. Most players do not recognize this as they think Claude betrayed him because he shouted at Claude. But the truth is, all along it was about power and money. Nothing more, nothing less. But of course, this is just a theory, because technically, if your playthrough had all Kenji missions completed before whacking him, that would mean Kenji's scream at Claude probably played a role at that decision despite the signs showing otherwise. To understand this theory, you need to know about Manhunt. Manhunt is a survival horror game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. The events of this game take place in Carcer City. Carcer City is actually a part of the GTA universe, which is why when GTA San Andreas starts, you can actually see Carcer City as a location in airport.
After 5 years on the East Coast, it was time to go home.
Welcome to Los Santos Airport.
What's up? Carl is sweet.
What's up, sweet? What you want?
It's Mama. She's dead, bro.
Other than that, Michael from Grand Theft Auto 5 also mentioned that his first heist ever took place in the outskirts of Carcer City moments before committing the Paleto Bay heist.
Come on, we got a score to take.
You ever hit a bank before, Franklin?
Yeah, I was the driver on the job my boy Lamar pulled. Guess it's the same kind of shit we doing now, right?
Nice, bro. What was the tape?
Shit, I don't know, man. I can't remember.
Come on. Everyone remembers their first score.
Shit, not me.
Mikey, bro, what was your first bank score?
88, outskirts of Carcer City. Took a small franchise for 10G. Yeah, things were easier back then.
Yeah, 25 years ago. Jesus!
In Manhunt, you play as James Earl Cash. Awaiting death row from the crimes we do not know, Cash is being executed to pay for his crimes. However, it turns out that he is being simply knocked out, and when he wakes up later, he discovers a voice telling him that he was announced dead to the world, but he is actually alive and needs to work for this man in order to survive.
It looks like this goes all the way to the top. I can't trust anyone, least of all the police, and time's running out. I've got to get the one piece of evidence that will expose Starkweather without a shadow of a doubt. Footage and testimony of a man who was executed by the state 5 hours ago.
James Earl Cash, found guilty and sentenced to death, has been on death row for the past 3 years and was executed last night.
Hey, tough guy, wake up. You're not dead. Well, not yet, anyway. You're getting a second chance. Another throw of the dice. As far as the world is concerned, you died back in the chamber. Justice was served. James Earl Cash is rotting in hell. Hey, get a grip and calm down. You're probably suffering from shock, and I'm here to help. Pick up the ears. Put it on. Go on. That's better. Now only you can hear me. And that's the way you're gonna want it, because I'm your only way out of here. Hey, easy. Look, you've had an unexpected reprieve. Do exactly as I say, and I promise this will be over before the night is out.
He has to kill hunters looking to finish him in brutal ways for this voice if he wants to stay alive. The man that is talking to him is Lionel Starkweather. He used to be a Vinewood movie director, but his films flopped, which made him go insane, and he started to make snuff films.
Go on!
Something else.
Why won't my baby boy come to me?
Hell, you chewed him up like a pro!
Snuff films are the type of films where real brutality and murder is shown to sexually satisfy its audience. He knew there was a market for such films and began to direct these. That's why Cash was told to brutally kill the hunters he's trying to survive. By the end of the game, Starkweather kills off Cash's family in order to punish him and satisfy the viewers.
Hold up, Cash. You and your family weren't exactly close, am I right? It's just that I thought it would be nice to have a surprise reunion. But these war dogs didn't see it my way, and they've taken matters into their own hands. They're using them as bait, Cash. Bait. I know. I can hardly believe it myself. Each time they spot you, these war dogs are going to execute one of your beloved family.
Get out of here! Run!
So, how are we doing, Cash? Enjoying it so far? I thought you could do with a little R&R, so I've arranged a special screening. just for you. It's work in progress, but I think you'll appreciate it. I've hidden a tape and a video camera in the mall. Find them. By the way, these guys are packing heat, so you might want to find a gun for yourself. You must understand, Cash. I could never let them go. Where were your family when you were facing your final moments in the chamber anyway? You've left your old life, your old self behind. I'm all the family you need now.
This ultimately makes Cash have a vendetta against him, and ultimately Cash kills Starkweather and the snuff ring of Carcer City gets exposed to the people of the world.
Send him to hell. Go on. Cash, I made you!
The head chief of the police department is Gary Schaefer. By the end of the game, Gary Schaefer's lawyer said he pleaded to be not guilty. Now, why is this important? Because in Grand Theft Auto 3's Radio Lips 106, a news reporter gives a report of Gary Schaefer and that all of the charges against him are cleared.
Acclaimed movie maker Lionel Starkweather has been found dead today, along with several of his bodyguards, at his estate at the Wapona Hills residential district. In what investigators are calling a bloody vendetta, an unknown assailant infiltrated the compound, killing Starkweather, but more interestingly, leading police to the site of a snuff film ring being run from the estate's confines. Linked to this ring is Carcer City's own police chief, Gary Schaefer, whose lawyer stated that he intends to plead not guilty.
So I'm sitting here reading the Liberty Tree, and it says, in nearby Carcer City, a good day for law and order as Police Chief Gary Schaefer was cleared of corruption charges in a controversial decision by the courts. Let's hope those missing witnesses turn up safe and sound.
This means when you are playing GTA 3, there is a chance some of these hunters have escaped to Liberty City, as it is nearby Carcer City. The hunters in Manhunt consisted from murderers to rapists and pedophiles.
Daddy's coming, Flower. Daddy's coming! Look, Daddy gets confused sometimes, says things he doesn't mean. Look, I'm sorry, Sunshine. Daddy won't shout again. Just come back out and we can be friends. Come on, you know Daddy would never hurt the apple of his eye.
Because the ring got exposed, this means there is a chance a lot of the stragglers associated with this project ran away to different states and cities across America. Because Liberty City is near Carcer, it is likely that they are roaming amongst the pedestrians. This theory sounds a bit all over the place, so let me place the context beforehand. In GTA 3, Claude works for Asuka after being betrayed by Salvatore Leone. Asuka makes Claude work for Ray after a few jobs. Ray is a bent cop who gives Claude missions from a toilet. This might not make sense at first, but the reason he's doing this is because the officers from Internal Affairs were looking to build a case against Ray and his partner. This ultimately gets the CIA involved later on, which is why Ray never gets out of the toilet. However, Ray makes Claude do his dirty work. When the time comes, Ray gets heavily pressured by the CIA and needs to escape Liberty City.
I gotta go on vacation.
You weren't followed. Good. This is it. I'm way over my head and I'm starting to drown here. The CIA seems to have a vested interest in Spank, and they don't like us screwing with the cartel. I'm a marked man, so I'm getting out of here. Get me to my flight at the airport, and I'll make it worth your while.
That's why Claude helps Ray to escape by using an underground tunnel so that the CIA can't see Claude helping Ray. Ultimately, he makes Ray escape Liberty City, and to that, Ray gives Claude the location of his bulletproof Patriot and some armory. This theory suggests that the CIA later on figured out that if Ray escaped Liberty City through the airport but they did not see him, that means they figured it was done using the underground tunnel. The CIA didn't know Ray was hiding in a toilet. That's why they could never find him. However, this theory suggests that after helping out Ray and making him escape while also raging a whole war with the Colombian cartel, the CIA must have caught wind of Claude. That means the CIA knew that Claude was working for the Yakuza. But according to this theory, CIA let Claude kill Catalina and deal damage to the cartel's operation. Instead of them having to deal with the corruption and crimes happening in Liberty City, Claude was ironically putting an end to that by aiming for Catalina's head. That's why, even though Claude killed a lot of people and was supposed to be in prison, he was still roaming around perfectly, and the CIA just let it all play out. But the other side of the theory is that Ray escaped and Claude helped Ray to go through the underground tunnel. The CIA did not know where Ray was exactly in the first place. That's why when Claude drove the car and used the tunnel to make him escape, the CIA could not find out about Claude at all. The thing that makes no sense about the CIA is that why there was no one close to the airport. You would think that they knew Ray was gonna go to the airport to fly out of Liberty City, but there were no CIA agents close to the terminal doors, so there are no answers to this, and the theory can go either way. As stated before, both Manhunt and Grand Theft Auto shares the same universe. Manhunt is set in Carcer City, which is also nearby Liberty City. According to this theory, the reason Liberty City just feels like it is the darkest map of GTA is because not only is Manhunt's Carcer right beside it, but these two games use the same sound effects as well. That means the sound effects of you picking up health or any other items like weapons in GTA 3 is actually the exact same as pickup sounds from Manhunt. This is because Manhunt is trying to deliberately tell the players that the Manhunt universe and GTA universe are the same. Manhunt is a game about brutality and survival, what it takes to survive, and the gray areas of it when you are forced to be in a situation where you have to do evil things in order to simply stay alive. Cash has to go up against a bunch of hunters that are looking for him. The themes of this game is extremely dark. Now let's look at GTA 3. The world of GTA 3 is one of parody. Liberty City is basically a fictional version of New York City. There are advertisements throughout the world portraying the ad haven that is NYC Manhattan. There are trains like NYC as well. However, the world of Liberty City is full of crimes that are happening at any given period. Gangs roam the streets and shoots you on sight depending on your progress in the story. Police are corrupt and brutal. They're also committing crimes against criminals themselves and are corrupt. On the other hand, Gary Schaefer, who was the chief of police in Carcer City, is also cleared of all the charges, even though he was the reason the snuff ring existed in Carcer City, because Lionel Starkweather, who was directing these films, had a deal with Gary Schaefer. There is an audio clip in Manhunt that actually shows the players that the cops knew all along what was happening in Carcer and everything about Cash, but they let it happen anyway. Obviously they did. That's why something as big as this snuff got to happen in the first place.
We're lost. What? Are you fucking... Oh, shut up and get some of your boys to take care of it. Don't file the arrest report. Don't kill him either. Send both to me.
Hey, remember who you're talking to, you son.
Listen, you fuck, it's your job to clean up the city's mess. That's what you get paid for.
Shit.
Okay, pull over here.
But it's another block or two to my apartment.
Just shut up and stick with me if you want to stay alive.
Meanwhile, in Grand Theft Auto 3, during the mission Kanbu Bust Out, Kenji gives Claude a job to free up a man from prison by blowing the walls and then helping him escape the cops. When Claude goes there to blow up the wall, he can hear the police officer inside beating up the criminals. This is his abuse of power. This is why the cops of Liberty City and Carcer have a lot of similarities.
My sister speaks highly of you, though I'm yet to be convinced that a guy Jin can offer anything but disappointment. Perhaps you could help deal with a situation that has me at a disadvantage. Of course, failure has its own disgrace. A Yakuza Kanbu is in custody awaiting transfer for trial. He is a valued member of the family. Break him out of custody and get him to the dojo at Bedford Point.
When Claude blows up the wall to save the man he was supposed to, he sees handprints covered in blood on the wall. That handprint isn't there because of the explosion. It is there because the cop was beating a man to the point he was bleeding.
Detective headquarters, all units return immediately.
In Carcer City, cops beat up Cash the moment they see him. Even if Cash is standing still, they don't try to arrest him. Instead, they try to kill him immediately. This makes sense since Cash is a dangerous man and have been killing anyone and everyone that is on his path while helping those he needs. But still, when he is standing, they don't arrest him even though they can. Not to mention, these cops later on involved the SWATs of Carcer City to finish Cash, which means both GTA 3 and Manhunt resemble a lot of the same darkness.
CCPD, stay where you are! Come on out where we can see you! Give it up, you bum!
Stop stalling and face the damn music, punk! I dish out justice like this every day.
In Grand Theft Auto 3, there is a chain of mission for a man named Marty. I will talk about him later in the Iceberg, but his missions have similar themes of Manhunt. According to this theory, Rockstar intentionally chose to make Manhunt have the same sound effects to further portray that the world of Manhunt and Grand Theft Auto 3 is the same. That's why the weapon pickup is also a part of that integral world. In the second island, Claude can do payphone missions for King Courtney, the leader of the Yardies. He sends Claude to collect a stash in Bedford Point. However, when Claude reaches there and enters the vehicle, he finds out a letter from Catalina who sent spanked up madman after him. The theory suggests that it was Catalina who ultimately manipulated these men by not only drugging them with spank, but by also manipulating them into becoming a suicide bomber.
Get your little self over to Bedford Point. There's a stash in an old jalopy. I need quick smart now.
Here you go, I got a present. Here you go, I got a present. Special delivery. TNT. Cut up to daddy. Special delivery. Cut up to daddy. What's on my Come to daddy. Special delivery. Here you go, what's on daddy. Come here. Special delivery. Come to daddy. Come here. Come to daddy.
When I talked about Catalina in my analysis, I did not mention this mission. The reason for that is because there are no definitive proof that Catalina actually manipulated them into becoming a suicide bomber, because it is highly possible that these are drugged up men who are doing this under the influence of that drug, which might further tell us how bad Spank really was and how much damage it was doing to Liberty City. However, if you watch my Catalina analysis, then you know what kind of woman she was. Catalina was a narcissist. As a narcissist, she had manipulating traits within her as well. She manipulated the Colombian cartel into working for her by telling them lies about Miguel. She shot him and thus he got captured by the Yakuza. However, she then told the Colombian cartel that it was actually Miguel's fault. His lack of competency is what got him captured. Then she told them how Miguel was snitching about the Colombian cartel to the Yakuza, and because of being held hostage and tortured. That's why they all got on board with her when she went to kill Asuka and Miguel, while also kidnapping Maria too.
Hey, let's get this out of here. God knows what it is, but he seems to want it badly enough, so it must be worth something.
Who the heck?
You!
Hey, take it easy, amigo. No es nada, no es nada.
I left you pouring your heart out into the gutter!
Hey, don't shoot, amigo. No problem. We all friends? Here,
Don't be such
take
a
this.
pussy!
Hey, we got no choice, baby. Yeah.
We always got a choice, you dumb bastard.
I'm sorry about the crazy bitch, man. They're all the same, please. Por favor.
So, the whore got away. But you've done me a favor. You're not the only one that has a score to settle with the cartel. This worm killed my brother.
I never killed no Yakuza.
Liar! We all saw the cartel assassin. We are going to hunt down and kill all you Colombian dogs. I'll be operating on our friend here to extract information and a little pleasure. You, drop by later. I'm sure I'll require your services.
Please, amigo. Don't leave me here with her, man. She's psycho, chico, man. Please, amigo. Hey, amigo. Amigo.
According to this theory, Catalina also manipulated these men into becoming a suicide bomber. She would give them spank, which would make them not think clearly and making her job easy to manipulate. This theory makes a lot of sense because usually no one wants to die by being a suicide bomber. That is exactly why they are spanked up. They are high and not thinking about getting killed. That's also why they are constantly taunting at Claude like they are crazy. But because of the fact that it is entirely possible that Catalina did not have to manipulate them and spank was all she really needed, is why I decided not to add this mission to the Catalina analysis video. But if true, it just shows you how evil Catalina truly is.
Here comes our little friend, Mr. Big Mouth himself.
Were you followed? You know what goes on here is our little secret, amigo.
No, I wasn't followed. You got my stuff?
Here's your spank, squealer. Now talk.
Okay, so the Leons are fighting wars on two fronts. They're in a turf war with the Triads, with no sign of either side giving up. Meanwhile, Joey Leone has stirred up some bad blood with the Forellis. Every day they're losing men and influence in the city. Salvatore's becoming dangerous and paranoid. He expects everybody and everything.
And with loyalty like yours, what has he possibly got to worry about?
I have already talked about how Claude betrayed Kenji and what was his reasoning behind it. However, I haven't mentioned Claude's body language. Claude is a silent protagonist, which means even though he is mute, he still has a personality. His body language can often show you his true motives and feelings towards certain things. The best example of this is when Maria revealed to Claude that she lied about him and her being an item to Salvatore. You can see when that happens, Claude gives off a "why would you do that?" or "come on, really?" type of feeling through his body language, which is his way of expressing the absurdity of the situation.
Listen, Salvatore thinks that we're going behind his back, so he was offering you to the cartel in order to make a deal. I couldn't let him do that. I mean, the worst thing is, it's all my fault because I told him we were an item. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Look, you're a marked man on the Mafia turf, and I've got to get out of here, too. I've seen too much killing, too much blood. This is a friend of mine, okay? She's an old friend, and it's so good. She's someone we can trust.
Come on, enough of the speeches. We better get out of here before we get more hysterical Italians wanting less friendly reunions.
Maria should have known better and should have learned by this point what type of man Salvatore Leone is, because she actually knew Salvatore way before Grand Theft Auto 3, as it is shown to us that she dated him even back in 1992 in San Andreas.
Top fucking buzz this! I'm peaking on the blood pressure alone!
Yeah, terrific.
Well, well, well. What do we got here?
Here's your sandwich.
Who's this pretty thing?
I don't usually do this kind of shit, you know.
I like this girl. What's your name, kid?
Maria. And the service is not included.
Hey, the woman, you fat fuck!
You heard the bird.
Come on. Are you kidding me? See you later, guys.
That's why it makes sense that Claude would find her decision extremely stupid, not to mention the two of them weren't even a thing at all. Claude never showed any interest towards her, as he was only after Catalina and revenge. It was a one-sided love situation where Maria fell for Claude and mistakenly uttered his name to Salvatore. When Ray yells at Claude in the toilet, Claude also backs up from that, which is a natural reaction. These reactions show you that, like everyone, Claude has some traits of a normal person. His mindset might not be the same, but his feelings towards certain things might be.
You useless bastard! You're totally messed up! My ass is on the line, and you can't even kill a goddamn fly! I paid you good money to kill that witness, and he ain't dead! And today he's gonna make a federal deposition! He's being moved any second now from the Carson General Hospital up in Rockford. If he squeals, I squeal!
And that leads us to the mission where Claude meets Donald Love and has to kill Kenji. Donald Love tells Claude what he learned from Avery Carrington in GTA Vice City.
Nothing drives down real estate prices like a good old-fashioned gang war, apart from an outbreak of plague, but that might be going too far in this case. I've noticed the Yakuza and the Colombians are far from friends. Let's capitalize on this business opportunity. I want you to kill the Yakuza Wakagashira, Kenji Kassen. Kenji is attending a meeting at the top of the multi-story car park in Newport. Get a cartel gang car and eliminate him. The Yakuza must blame the cartel for this declaration of war.
After that, he explains why Kenji Kassen needs to be killed, as the Yakuza are in battle with the Colombians. That's why he wants Claude to go and kill Kenji while staying inside of a cartel car. That way the cartel would be blamed for Kenji's death, and the Yakuza will go to war with the Colombians with an effort to destroy them. This would ultimately bring down property prices, which Donald Love could take advantage of. After that, Claude gives off a reaction which says, "Really?" And he does this when Donald Love is not looking. So why did he do it? Because he realized that he had to betray Kenji? No. There are two reasons behind it. The lower reason is most likely because he realized that Kenji is no longer going to be a fixer for him. However, there is a much darker theory. This theory or reason says that Claude was frustrated because out of the two gangs that Donald Love could have sent him after, he decided to choose the Yakuza. Yakuza. Because Claude was after his ex-girlfriend and she had the Colombian cartel under her, this means going after the Colombian cartel would have served Claude's own purpose even better. He wants to kill two birds with one stone. He eventually manages to do this later when Donald sends him to collect a package which Catalina gets her hands on. He then helps Asuka to capture Miguel and pretend that Miguel was the one who got her brother killed. Not only Claude got the cartel against the Yakuza, he got paid to do it. However, when Donald Love told Claude to go after Kenji, that means it was one extra step Claude had to take at that point. Because of the fact that he couldn't get his revenge sooner, he gasped and had a frustrating reaction only when Donald Love was not looking. This is, at the end of the day, a theory, but this theory does have a good base, and if true, just tells you how cold Claude truly was as a protagonist. Donald Love meets Claude through the connections of Ray. Ray tells Claude that a man has some embarrassing photos of Donald Love attending a morgue party. After this mission, Donald Love's icon becomes available on the minimap. When Claude meets Donald, he says that people will believe into anything they see these days. Donald Love is a parody of Donald Trump, so Rockstar Games is simply poking fun at him. However, when Love said this to Claude, he meant that he wasn't in the party and is not what Claude thinks he is.
First of all, let me thank you for dealing with that personal matter. People will read something into anything these days. Experience has taught me that a man like you can be very loyal for the right price, but groups of men get greedy. A valued resource, an old Oriental gentleman I know, has been kept hostage by some South Americans in Espatria. They're trying to extort additional funds from me, but I don't believe in renegotiation. A deal is a deal, so they'll not see a penny from me. Go and rescue my friend. Do whatever it takes.
Donald Love is a cannibal. When did this behavior start is hard to say, but Donald Love is seen to eat human flesh during the mission campaign in GTA Liberty City stories.
Antonio, que pasa, amigo?
You do know I'm Italian, don't you, Don? Not, Spanish?
Of course. How silly of me. I just love all the Romance languages. My God, this is good. It tastes just like chicken, but somehow more, sentient. You want some?
I already ate, thanks.
Ugh, too bad. It's fantastic. I have some more delicacies about to be served. The liberals would have a field day, of course, but how little they know of life's real pleasures. Sophistication and democracy have always been such uneasy bedfellows.
Listen, Don, we need to win this election, okay? We need to make sure that there's no skeletons in the closet, if, you know what I mean?
Right.
What I mean is, how do we take care of this O'Donovan guy who is covering for, standing in for the Forellis?
The guy has a lot of people canvassing for him. All kinds of deluded people, if you know what I mean. I think we need to have their faith in democracy shaken, if you understand me.
What you mean is that I gotta go beat the crap out of them.
Oh, your passion, Antonio, it's magnificent. It's so, Wagnerian, you know? Arrivederci, amigo. Humphreys, bring out the apple.
So, why did Donald lie to Claude? The main reason he did this is because he wanted to protect his reputation as he was a politician. At this point in time, he wanted Claude to have the best impression of him. That's why he had to immediately tell Claude that people would take it in a different direction. But people wouldn't though, since him being a cannibal was the truth. This might also be a subtle commentary from Rockstar on how a lot of conspiracy theories that seem unlikely could actually be true. Donald Love also didn't know Claude was a mute, since he did not meet him beforehand. hand. That could be another reason he wanted to dispute the matter completely, since Claude could spread rumors about him. However, this matter ties to Mr. Nasty. The snuff films of Carcer City was directed by Starkweather, but he wasn't the producer. The producer of such films is an anonymous person who goes by the name of Mr. Nasty. Mr. Nasty is not only never shown to us, he never revealed his final voice. Not only that, he was never even mentioned in the actual game. His name was only mentioned in manuals. But why does Donald Love being a cannibal ties to Mr. Nasty? Because this is a long-running theory in the GTA community that Donald Love might just be Mr. Nasty, as in Carcer's snuff ring, a lot of people were dying. For a cannibal, this is the best place to be in. They can have supply of human flesh and does not have to worry about the cops since they are being paid to ignore it. However, there are no evidence that Donald Love is actually the man behind the mask of Mr. Nasty. Not to mention, right after Manhunt, GTA 3 takes place. That would mean he escaped Carcer and came back to Liberty City within a short amount of time. Of course, he would like to escape Carcer after the ring got exposed, but that does not make this theory true. But this is by far one of the most popular disturbing theory of GTA I have came across.
Valiant Video Enterprises. Real hardcore, real fetish, real brutal. Videos made to order. New members only interactive forums. Now at www.valiant-ent.tv.
GTA 3 released on October 22, 2001, just a few days after 9/11. There are a lot of theories on the internet talking about how 9/11 may have changed the game completely. Despite the rumors from people, Rockstar Games has completely denied the claims and said that 9/11 had nothing to do with the changes of the game. It makes sense that Rockstar would want to distance themselves from that. Yes, they make money off of controversies, but that does not mean they're going to tie themselves to a real-life event. With that being said, there was going to be a character in GTA 3 that would give you missions just like the other characters. However, Rockstar removed him from the game even though some of his data remained in the game files. His name is Darkle. Darkle was going to be a crazy bum giving you some crazy missions. His missions includes Claude driving a school bus, taking people in it, and later killing them. A lot of people theorized it was going to be children, but Rockstar disputed and said it was just a funny claim people are making and nothing more. Of course, the lack of children in Grand Theft Auto 3 does support Rockstar's claims. On the other hand, rumors spread about Darkle giving Claude a mission where he had to fly a plane, in this case the Dodo, to crash into a building. You can already understand why that did not make it into the game. However, Rockstar denied such claims. The reason the Dodo can't be flown is because the Dodo wasn't programmed to fly. Despite that, people love to believe Rockstar Games removed the mission because it would have just gotten the game banned immediately, hurting sales. But I would much rather believe Rockstar, even though it makes sense they would never admit doing something like this. But I think believing the developers makes more sense than the fans when it comes to the creation of a video game. However, that does not mean Darkle is completely removed from the game. He was going to lead a gang of hobos. Reminiscence of this is actually still in the game. If you go to the tunnel near 8 Ball in Harwood, you can find a hidden package, and this package is being surrounded by 4 homeless people who have Molotov in their hands. That's because they were left out in the game's files. They're still present in the definitive edition of the game, but like the original, if you attack them, they run away from you despite having Molotovs in their hands. After death, they drop these like weapon pickups. The reason they are not attacking you even though you are attacking them is because of Rockstar removing the necessary codes from the game for pets like these to attack any NPC or the player, even if they attack them or even if these hobos have weapons. So why did Rockstar remove him other than him being controversial? The main reason according to Rockstar is that his missions simply does not line up properly with other missions of Grand Theft Auto 3. This actually makes a lot of sense, because Claude would be doing these missions for no purpose other than listening to a hobo. Why would a man like Claude, who only worked for money and power, ever listen to a hobo? And him being a hobo means there would be virtually nothing in it for Claude. Doesn't matter how controversial missions are in GTA, they need to serve a purpose. When they don't, they stick out. In Grand Theft Auto 5, you had to torture a man in a mission, but you had to do it to get information out of him, which made complete sense. However, in GTA San Andreas, CJ kills a bunch of construction workers and even buries one alive under cement simply because of the fact that one of these workers cussed his sister.
Hey, homies.
What up, Carl?
What the fuck is going on? Do I look like a
a hooker to you?
What?
Those assholes keep saying shit to me.
Who said this to you?
The construction workers up that hill.
I'ma fuck them up.
Nah, hold up. I got this. I need to go teach him a little respect, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting me some new land anyway. I like to share too, thank you.
What's all that damn clatter? Holy crap, I didn't see nothing.
Oh, God, no! Oh, my suit! It's ruined!
Yes, the game tried to show how much family-oriented CJ was and why you shouldn't mess with the family. But this mission did more damage to CJ's reputation than good. When I asked people in my community which kill they thought was the lowest honor, almost everyone voted this kill because it was way too far for CJ to go. Not to mention, CJ let Brian die and fled to Liberty City, and now he's going to bury some civilians because one of them cussed out his sister, and while doing that he's going to destroy the construction site as well? Yeah, no wonder the vast majority of people did not like this mission, and often you would hear people call this a filler mission, which basically means it is a mission that does not move the story forward at all, and is simply a waste of time, which is exactly what it was. That's why it makes sense to remove Darkle's missions, because they simply are tonally too different and does not make sense to exist. Claude wanted money and also to get closer to Catalina. Working for Darkle would have served none because of him being a bum. But these are all theories, and let me know what do you think. According to this theory, Liberty City has a life of its own. The reason Liberty City looks so rusted and dirty is because it is reflecting the people of the city. This city is full of crimes and corruption is rampant all over. From police brutality to the overall bleakness and spank, Liberty City does not appear to be a happy place. In Grand Theft Auto 3, Liberty City does not have a heart of its own, but it feels like it does. Just go down the subway tunnels and you can hear echoes. You can almost always hear water sounds and some random static that just comes out of nowhere and is completely unexplainable. It is almost like the city itself is making these sounds. You can see cranes to move way up in the tower, but there is no one working in these buildings, and if you use the dodo to fly, you can see the vast majority of buildings don't even have a ceiling. That's because the game developers knew most players would never go up and beyond that ceiling. If you take details like these into canon, then yes, it would appear that the city has a life of itself and is sentient. For example, near the location where Kingdom Come takes place, you can reach the other side of the wall, and at the very end it says you weren't supposed to be able to get here, you know? This is just an Easter egg, but if you think about the world and take things canonically, then it does appear that the city is sentient. Because of the fact that Liberty City comes off as very dingy and dark, it makes you think that the people are also being consumed by it. Every single corner of Liberty City has crimes happening even though it isn't a large city. A while ago I mentioned Marty Chunks. Beside the garage of Joey, a phone call can be heard from a payphone that Claude can answer. These are missions given by Marty Chunks. In GTA 3, there is a food factory called Bitch and Dog Food Factory, and he's the owner of the factory. Marty Chunks gives Claude to bring certain people in his factory, and when Claude does that, Marty will actually end up killing them brutally. You can tell by the sound of him killing them and them asking for mercy moments before the victims are finished. So everyone knows this, but a theory suggests that Marty probably uses the flesh of his victims and puts them into the food. He does it in order to further satisfy his sadistic mind while taking revenge. His first victim is his bank manager, who kept bumping up the loan repayments so he could get some money out of him.
The name's Chunks, Marty Chunks. I run the bitchin' dog food factory around the corner. I got money troubles, but hey, who doesn't, right? I'm meeting my bank manager later. He's a crooked bastard that keeps bumping up the loan repayments so he can cut a slice. Take my car, pick him up, and bring him back here. I got a little surprise for that blood-sucking leech.
Oh, Mr. Chunk sent you, did he? Let's go and pay the fellow a visit. Get your hands off me ass!
The second victims are the two thieves he hired to break into his own apartment to fraud the insurance company so he could claim it. They blackmailed Marty and threatened him of snitching to the company.
I hired some thieves to break into my apartment and steal some stuff so I could claim on the insurance, as you do. The thieving bastards are threatening to tell the insurance company if I don't give them a cut. Can you believe it? I left the car inside the factory gates. Use it to go pick them up from their turf in the red light district. Then bring them back to the factory so I can make them see Marty's point of view.
Easy there, partner. Whoa! Put it down. Come on, put it down.
His next victim is his own wife. She kept spending all his money and left him no choice but to get rid of her.
The business is gonna go under unless I get a hold of some serious cash soon. My wife has an insurance policy and all she's ever been to me is a hole in my pocket. I've left the car in the usual place. Go and pick up my wife from Classic Nails and bring her back to the factory.
Marty wants to see me? Well, it better be quick, because I have to get my hair done.
Hattie, stop!
However, it turns out that she was actually cheating on him in the first place, and her lover is also a guy Marty owed a lot of money to. This man paid Claude more money than Marty, and Claude finally let him kill off Marty and put an end to his massacre.
Damn, I'm in trouble. Turns out my wife was seeing some guy I owe money to. He's got real angry, and he's looking for payback. I've agreed to see him. He thinks I'm gonna pay him off, but my guess is Liberty's dogs are gonna get yet another flavor this month.
Marty sent you, huh? Okay, I'm gonna show that kid to me when we work business.
Carl, hi. I need more time to get your money. But if you just step into my office...
It's far too late for that, Marty. You had your chance. But now, I'm taking over the business.
Loser!
Now, let's answer the question. Why is it possible for him to do this? Is there any basis to this theory? What if I tell you there is? Not only would it let Marty have satisfaction to see people who punished him have a terrible fate, but Marty also said it himself that his business was running out of money and that he had money issues. This means it is likely that Marty used his victims' flesh in order to churn out dog food out of them. And this is probably fine for dogs, so would sell anyway, and no one would be able to tell that there are human flesh in it since it is for dogs. He would also be able to save money by doing this as well, which is why it is possible Marty put the flesh of his victims in the food. Another thing which also points towards this happening is that Marty only tells Claude to take care of the vehicles after the victims are delivered. We never get to see what happened to the dead bodies, so it is highly likely that is exactly what happened to the dead bodies. And that brings us to the end of the disturbing theories iceberg surrounding the lore of GTA 3. GTA 3 is often regarded to be the darkest GTA, and now I hope you can relate to that feeling. With Manhunt being set beside Grand Theft Auto 3, that dark and weary feeling only gets enhanced. The game also has a sort of hopeless atmospheric touch to it that you quite cannot put your fingers on. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please become a member of my channel for more long-form content and GTA videos. videos and to get early access to them as well. More lore and icebergs are coming soon. Shout out to Greater Tony 4508 for their fan art of Manhunt and custom gangs, and shout out to Kino Casino Clip channel for providing me content that helped me make this video. With that being said, Perfect Enrager signing out.